we keep talking about that same old muggy hot pattern, but of course the big thing right now is keeping an eye on Fred.
Right, yeah, and there are a lot of question marks. I know there were a lot of question marks yesterday, but it almost seems like this morning there are even more question marks, and we'll talk about why coming up in just a few minutes here. As you get ready to head out the door, we'll let you know what's going on right now. It is a mild and muggy morning, no change there. Yes, we are going to stay in our very same and mundane pattern as we go through the next few days. You're looking live on top of the fairgrounds for now, where that biker rally is still going on. If you are planning on attending this today, just know it is going to be quite hot out there, mid-90s today. Of course, it is still going to feel very much like the triple digits this afternoon. We'll have that chance for a few afternoon storms, primarily as we head past lunchtime today. So any plans you have, of course, a lot of you probably heading out to work and school, just be sure you have that umbrella with you, or the raincoat wouldn't be a bad idea. And of course, plenty of water. The same goes for Friday and Saturday, as we do stay again in that same summertime pattern with afternoon storms and highs in the mid-90s, feeling more like the triple digits. As we go through the next few days, not only are we going to be summer-like, but of course we are going to be keeping a very close eye on now tropical depression Fred. Storm made its way over the Dominican Republic, a very mountainous region. It's now starting to push off the islands of Hispaniola, that's the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and it is forecast to re-strengthen as it heads back into the warm waters of the Caribbean. Now, why there's so much uncertainty right now is because this storm is falling apart, and that is natural when tropical systems move over land. So when you don't have that clearly defined center and it's getting all shaken up by land, the models don't even know where to start. So that's causing a little bit more uncertainty. We do expect that as this storm starts to get a little more organized again, especially as we head into Friday and Saturday, when Fred is forecast to re-strengthen back into a tropical storm, we'll definitely have a better idea on where this track is going to go. So I know it's never great to hear that there's a lot of uncertainty, but that does naturally come with not only a tropical depression, but being several days out. The big question right now is what or how Fred is going to interact with the Florida Peninsula. There is that potential that Fred does make its way inland south of the Tampa area, and that would of course shake up the storm even more. That would slow the storm down. That would make the storm weaker. The National Hurricane Center's track is kind of right in the middle of all of the global models that they look at to determine where this storm is going to go and how strong it's going to be. It does keep the center of Fred right off the coast of Florida, staying out over in the warm Gulf water. So notice this Fred is forecast to strengthen as we head into Monday. So as Fred approaches the Gulf Coast, the storm is expected to have maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour for now and move inland as a tropical storm as we head through the early morning hours on Tuesday. Now, all of this is more than likely going to change. There are a lot of questions. Look at the spaghetti models. In pretty good agreement up until about the Bahamas. And then as it makes its way closer to the Florida Keys, look at the spread in the models, and that becomes even greater as we head into the start of next week, of course, when we could be starting to feel impacts from Fred. Those impacts are yet to be known. Of course, that's all going to determine how this storm interacts with the Florida Peninsula. That's going to be a huge factor in how strong Fred stays and what our impacts here at home are going to be. So right now, do expect that we'll see an increase in our coverage of rain as we head into the start of next week. But wind, any kind of severe weather, that's still yet to be known. Your 7-day shows very summer-like all the way through Sunday. And then, of course, all eyes will be on Fred as we head into the start of next week.